Now, allegations like that have driven many Americans to protest.
Across the country, people are voicing their concerns about an agency that seems to have little accountability as they violate longstanding norms and seemingly break foundational American laws. People detained by ICE have been moved to other jurisdictions. The agency is slow to release any evidence they may have, and they're separating children from their parents and arresting people in places that used to feel safe, like churches and courthouses.
Most of these protesters have been peaceful. When there has been violence at these rallies, it frequently starts after law enforcement officers arrive in riot gear. It's the protests in Los Angeles that have garnered the most attention, though. Activists responded to ICE raids last week. They gathered in the streets. Some gathered concrete, sometimes by breaking apart the sidewalks to throw at ICE vehicles to attempt to disable them. Federal agents responded with tear gas and flashbang grenades. On Saturday, President Trump took control of the California National Guard to send troops in. Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass said they never requested the troops, and Newsom is planning to sue the president now, saying he's overstepping his authority. Violence in the streets peaked Sunday. Yesterday, thousands of people gathered for a largely peaceful protest, although there were pockets of disturbances overnight. Still, President Trump has now deployed Marines to the city and is vowing to keep the ICE crackdowns coming. Democrats representing California in Washington, D.C. came together just this morning to speak out against the decision to use the military against American citizens.
They're saying it's a massive overreach of authority and an unbalanced response, and they're accusing the president of having ulterior motives.
Bringing the National Guard and the Marines only escalates tensions. Turning our neighborhoods into battlegrounds and militarizing our streets is not the answer. It's not the answer for California, and it's not the answer for any other state or municipality across the country.
It's about distracting from his failed domestic policies. It's about distracting from his failed foreign policies. And it's about distracting from a pathetic row between the President of the United States and the richest man in the world. When it comes to Californians, we will continue to protest, and we will continue to do it in a peaceful way. And those who don't are going to pay the consequences.
Listen to the words of this administration. They're using words like insurrection. They're using words like invasion, because I believe this is their way to lay down the groundwork to try to have martial law and invoke the Insurrection Act. And I think that's a concern. And remember, this is an order not just for California, but for this entire country, and they can send people anywhere. And that is dangerous, it's wrong, and we'll continue to stand up and oppose it.
And so the first thing you got to get it in your heads is you cannot believe what the president is telling you. You've got to understand that he's a liar, that he cannot be trusted, that he wants to get the numbers. He wants to show MAGA crowd that he's in fact getting the numbers he promised he was going to get to deport people out of the country.
Now, about 700 Marines have been sent to Los Angeles.
In a news briefing in the Oval Office today, President Donald Trump defended taking control of the National Guard there and sending in military troops.
And, you know, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming, and we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night, they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid.
We have not seen any evidence that any protester is being paid. There was a post on Craigslist looking to pay people to protest. That was, however, for a comedy prank show called GoofCon 1.